Okay, guys. I'm gonna play with what what synth should I play? Good morning. Anyway, guys, good morning. I know I'm doing this really early, but I want to show you something really cool on Serum. No, God, man, my audio. Okay, my audio's fine. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna show you one of my patches. Did I show you? I think I show you a whole bunch of my patches. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how to create this Chug guitar on VMetal. Well, I can't. You know what? I can't even show you that because this computer's too slow. Well, it's not slow, it's the RAM usage. Oh wait, this is the stretch drums. Stupid. I put the stretch drums there instead. Which is the one for the VMetal? There we go. Oh shit, it's faster than before. That's strange. I never had. I thought it was an issue when I opened Ableton Live, but now it's faster than before. I wonder if it's because if I'm live streaming. Well then, this is PromMidi VMetal that I use for my tracks. Ignore that. That's the Microsoft Windows antivirus, the built-in one. You might want to ignore that. Anyway, this is the PromMidi VMetal, and you can create an electric. You can create an distorted chug. Remember what I say, metal chug? I'm going to show you what I mean by metal chug. But first, let's wait till it loads. Wait, is it even streaming? Yeah, I'm streaming. Man, what's going on? That's the metal chug I'm talking about. Now this is called Polychrome DSP that I use for if I want to make heavy metal, or you could create, or if I want to make rock and roll. This is the amplifier you want to use. Now, there's different types of amplifiers to use, but this one, whoever made this one took it up to the next level. Like, I don't know if it's used by a distortion unit or something, or probably just third party effects. But we have edge, that which adds glow, and when we have gain, and when we have gain, it adds a little bit of it adds a lot of crunch to it. When you have it on edge, it doesn't add that crunch. So we have these, I will call these pedals. I don't know why, but that's how it is. That's how the Polychrome DSP is designed. And then we have these cabinets. We have 1 through 7. The same thing with edge and the same thing with clean. Like, I don't know why they choose acoustic for this or the clean for this. I don't know why acoustic doesn't have the cabinet for any of those plugins. Oh, what is this? Profiles? I'll have to use Line-Off Kintar for this. Anyway, we want to get back to the effects part. So, acoustic is for nylon guitars, and the same thing with clean. Oh, clean doesn't do this one, unless it's just emulating the guitar or something. So what I do is I enter the cabinet, enter the amplifier cabinet, and the gain is set to 5. Now this takes away the bass and only leaves the treble. And then you can extend it. Notice how loud it is. This instrument's on octave. Now, I could create a power chord for this if I wanted to on the V Metal suite. Now, see the memory usage right here? This is how much memory usage I'm using for this computer. I don't have a special tool. I don't have a special hardware to handle RAM memory, but I use RAM because that's how many memories it uses. So according to the task manager right here, my memory usage that has been used is 2,582.3 megabytes. And we have a high disk usage here, which is the malware service executable. You may wonder, why does this use disk usage? Like, if it's necessary though. And to be honest, Windows shouldn't even have an antivirus built in. It should have the regular Windows 7 in it, or on the Windows 7 default configuration. But Windows decided to make Windows 11. I'm using Windows 10, by the way. But I don't want to get you guys distracted. This is too much information. Anyway, I want to talk about how do you make the leads. Now, this is the power chord. You hear that? That's the dirt coming from the amp. The dirt effect. The dirt crunch effect or something. I don't want to get to the paracord. Let's go to the effects part. What is this whammy bar effect? Oh, that is sick. I love that lead a lot. See, with this amplifier, you can get a lot of effects from this V-Metal guitar. This is why I like this guitar a lot. It's really gnarly. And, anyway, let's skip the chug part, because you guys know about it already. We're going to delete the instances of V-Metal and exit the Mid-Rocket Suite. Now, I should have low on memory. Okay, you see this right here, the memory? Is this streaming? Okay, alright, as long as it's streaming, I'm good. Okay, you see this memory? I'm using 32% of memory, and notice how the disk usage is down. That's because I'm not using the effect from Contact or Serum or something like that. My disk usage, memory usage goes all the way to 15%, to 50%, I think. And if it goes higher, then that's a problem, which should be established. Now this is a problem right here. Like, I shouldn't even be using GPU when I'm recording. Oh, it's video encode. Oh, interesting. The Nitron has... Okay, if you're into synthetic sounds, this is one of my favorites. This one's Best Service Nitron, and this is actually an old... Why did it load it twice? Oh. Huh? Oh, I have it on Motis. Now, if you like synthetic bells, listen to this. You get that harmonic feel on the keypads. This clean gong right here, and it creates this kind of metallic sound to it. But what you're really hearing is the bells. I don't know how they did this. They have to be using the Virus TI for this, because Virus TI is very flexible. I know I talk about it in the first stream, but it's really versatile, but it's so expensive for me. But I could still afford it, but I'll be losing $2,000 for just a synthesizer that's old. You have Cloud Castle. Now this is one of my top favorite ones. Now that's used by DX7 bells from Yamaha. Now, there's another way to recreate this, but there's a default patch called .com44 modulator synthesizer from Reaktor, and it's an ensemble, and it creates this DX7 bell effect from Yamaha DX7. And what I like about Reaktor is that it's real-time synthesis. You can never say no to Reaktor. Now for Kontakt, this is just for sampling. But the technique for Kontakt is just about samples and layering them and then putting it through this section right here. Like I could just make a new instance. Well, how did I make a new instance here? New instrument, and then you can just load in the effects. Can I undo this here? No, you cannot. Yikes. I can't control Z on Kontakt. It would be better if they had the hotkey for it. I want to test out the multis. Like, what does the multi... Anyway, let's go back to basis and see what we can get. Oh, that's sick. That's harmonic bass, and let me look at the leads. Alright, I think I've seen enough. Anyway, this is the instrument that that is good for bells and synthetic sounds and whatever. So we're gonna go back to... Alright, let's not go back to samples. Let's go back to wavetables. Here I got minimum audio. I purchased this, just so you know. And the reason why people are struggling to get it for free is because it uses the internet, and I can't block it through by whatever. It uses the internet, but I'm not going to talk about it anyway. I want to talk about how I want to talk about my patches. So these are BL fantasy bells that I created. I got it from the cloud. I got it from the local or cloud engine, and these people make these custom sounds that you can build on Current. And what I like about Current is it's more for drum and bass instead. It's not for growls like Serum or it's not for growls like Serum or Faceplant. I love Faceplant. I'm actually really impressed with Faceplant. It could create almost anything, but the CPU is ridiculous. So these are my fantasy bells, the patches that I made from Current. I actually made patches from the Faceplant, though. This one's called Octavate, and this is used by the waveform. This is used by this waveform right here, and now here's the problem with current. You can't create a unison bomb effect on the current synthesizer because you have to turn the randomization down and you have to take the width down. I mean, it could create it, but it could barely do it. There's my bass line called Deeper. This is my added distortion unit from Polar Distortion. And this is the ripple phaser that I use. I use it for like a filter or something. And this is the fuse compressor. I added a bass line and mid end and the high end here. You can choose up to 6 bands, which is excellent. But yeah, I prefer the default 3 bands because it's just simple. Is bass, mid, treble. Now this is important to hear because if you were if you were not sampling this, listen to the sound really carefully. Now, if I oversample this, you don't get the FM kind of deeper 3 feel from the patch. You lose the instances of it. But if you turn it off, you start to hear more of it. And these are the effects I use. I use the Morph EQ. And I use Polar Distortion, Ripple Phaser, Fuse Compressor, Cluster Delay, and Reverb. Now note that Current uses third-party effects, and I don't know about synthesis, but I don't know FM or AM third parties, but basically Current is more of a third-party synthesizer because of the native effects that it uses. Now this is really complicated because I use a default notch filter with an alternator as the default patch for Morph EQ. Now this EQ can go all the way to 36 dB. I don't know anything about that, so I think the default dB setting should be 30 because that filter Pro Q uses 30 dB, and this I added distortion units. This one is more of a tube distortion. I'm gonna say so myself, and I had to add in effects from the squash effect and the drive and 2-stage. I don't know what 2-stage does. And then we had another Ripper phaser. Now this is for taking away the low ends because we want to hear the high ends of the unison bass. me get this effect. Now I added harmonics on this one. This one's used by the granulator. Now this one's my favorite, gnarly square. Listen to this one. Now you put the random to 0, put the width to 0, and get this sound. But there's a problem. There's no stereo to it, so we're gonna have to put a stereo on the VST plugin. And I think we need a chorus. Does it? But if we do need a chorus, we will use it. But here I use Matthew Lane's Delta, and this is actually a very excellent VST for stereolization. Listen to this really closely. Notice how there's movement on the volume. Without movement, with movement. This is without the noise. You hear the vocal part. You hear the hi-ya. It sounds like it's saying hi-ya or something. This one's called God Rees, and you're gonna listen to this. Why? Flanger on the delay, and a nice reverb with a 63% decay. I tried creating a morph growl on Current, but it failed miserably. My ears. There's a wavetable with no distortion on it. Look at the effects, are empty. Now this is a triangle growl. Now I don't know anything about triangle waveforms on Current, but this is really unusual. This is really uncommon to create this patch that I made on Current. This is one of my patches. This one's called Koto Madness. I used a granular. A lot on Current. Now this is one of my favorites. This one's called Ghost Christmas Bells. It's just never endless jingle. Never endless jingle. It's called Ghost Christmas Bell. I call it Ghost because it does sound haunting. Now here's the crazy part. Watch this. If I put this low on the octave, you hear the low end, right? Yeah, I mean, you hear the octave down, right? See right here? Octave down. Now watch this when I oversample this. It creates this drone. And look how much CPU I'm using. I will use this as part of my default drones for granular, but I don't like current to like use a lot of my CPU, because that's what it would do if I was oversampling my patches. And this is the 80s lead I made. Boring. And we got a sine lead. And we have transpad. So here's what we got here. We have diffusion and we have the frequency shifter. Now the diffusion is the reverb. So it's like swarm reverb, except it's a reverb actually. I wouldn't call this diffusion. I'd call this a regular reverb. And this is the frequency shifter that I used to shift the frequency to 520 hertz. Put the mix all the way down. And then we got the flanger, which is my favorite effect. I love flangers, and they're pretty dope. Now you may be wondering, how do I create this pluck effect? No, I didn't use. Let me just take away the... Okay, this is odd. Where is the... It's supposed to show, okay, I think there's a feature missing here. It's supposed to show the envelope doing something with the pitch, which I don't know. Yeah, see what it does? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Wait, man, what was that called? I know I had it here for some reason. Where to find this? Damn. It was right on the tip of my tongue, too. View and mod matrix. Okay, here it is. So on the mod matrix, envelope 1 is actually the default modulation. I used that. I have no idea what this envelope 1 is supposed to do on the other one, but envelope 1 is the global pitch, and I put it on to 13 plus. Now, how I did this is go to global and pitch, and it creates this kind of nice pluck effect. And these are patches that I've collected from the cloud, and they make tons of sounds over here. So this is the one I purchased, and I'm gonna exit right now. What's the version of this? I might have to update it. Okay, version 1.3.2. You're up to date? I don't think so. Okay, now let's go over faceplant patches that I made. And it's user, go to patches. Now, this is chord and reverse. Now, I used what I did here is I add in the detune on the frost chords, and I added synthetic to the global unison. With the mod wheel, it sounds reversed. Which is the reverse right here. And then you can pan it. This is the clean distortion that I use for the sample on a sample pack I use. This one's called Code Forest. Now, this one's more ambience-like. And how I did this, I used the reverb and put the mix all the way up, and it sounds like this. Crazy atmosphere. And there's CoPlanet. Notice how this CPU intensifies on the granular synthesis. And I use like 2 granular synthesis engines, and I don't use the global unison for this one. This is the Gnarl Reese, almost copied by Virtual Riot. Now, the Gnarl Reese is actually the patch that I got from Serum, and it has like the full collection of Virtual Riot's patches. Like I watched the YouTube video of Virtual Riot DJing on stage. I don't know where it's at, but I hear some of his sounds and I actually like it. Very interesting. And he created a color base on Faceplant, which I've never heard of. I never heard of you can make color base on Faceplant, but I know color base uses a lot of CPU hungry, and you have to actually oversample. You have to actually sample that. This one's called Narreese. Copy of Virtual Riot. This one's called GodPad. Of course, this is going to consume a lot of my CPU because... Of course, this is going to consume a lot of my CPU because, excuse me. I've been breathing hard ever since Anyway, I just got up of bed at, I don't know, like, I got out of bed like at 5 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Anyway, this is the GodPad, and I used the semitone to 7 and 3. I couldn't make 4 because of how much CPU this consumes, because it's ridiculous. So I just leave it like that. It is the enharmonic. So this is used by the frequency shifter. I use the ring mod, frequency shifter again, reverb, filter, limiter. I use limiter to limit my audio sounds. I don't like it to like to be like very loud where it reaches all the way to the peak. It's not good for your mix. I try to make an EQ and use the limiter as good as possible. Then we got Midreese. Now this is used by the tubular effect from the non-linear filter. You get this nice bubbly effect from the filter. Now this is modulate phase shift. I used mix for the level and analog, which is the I used a little bit of distortion and and I used the sine patch and you get that sound. Now this is pad and construction. I'm gonna be showing you what this does. This the current octave is set to 2 and 3, and it does sound like people are doing construction work. Hear this carefully. Now, if I put the mod wheel down, it takes the semitone. It takes the semitone down. Wait. It takes the semitone down from the frequency shifter. You get a pad, and then you get people doing construction, which is obviously an atmosphere to me. Excuse me. I added a reverb and ensemble on the granular synthesis. The ensemble creates this nice detune effect, like a chorus or something. And then we got transformeries. This one's more harmony like more harmonics. And notice how much I've used. I used the sample analog, which is the triangle wave. The mod wheel makes it angrier. Which is dope. And I used a distortion, then I use filters. Now this is actually funny because I use filters for EQing. Really weird. I added a bass, another bass, and then I took the higher frequencies and just put it to slope 6 and added another bass, and you get this kind of effect. And I added a convolver, disperser, stereo width. A transient shaper, ring mod, and a limiter. Now I don't know why I use lane 1 mod for this. I don't know anything about lane 2 or lane 3. I just use lane 1 for all my sounds. Now this is the virus sample Reese. Now it doesn't sound Reese-y, but I've added some effects like flanger and stuff like that. So let's take away the effects here. Wait a minute, I added 2 flangers? And I added a shaper table. This is the original sample. And I used this. This is bass boosted, so notice what the flanger is doing. It's creating more movement to the sound. This adds stereo width and reverb on the mod reel. This is without the bass booster. This is without the bass. This is with the bass. Notice how it says bass boosted. and use mod wheel, which I added in the description on the patch. And I do the same thing. Use mod wheel to white and stereo. And this is the Cedric last patch. There's a distortion unit I use, a sine wave, and the bias there, and get the Cedric. So that's all my patches from Faceplant. What else did I do? Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. These plugins right here, I used them to test the audio sound to see if it sounds good, if it sounds high quality, or it sounds real time. Now, if you ever heard of native effects, native effects are supposed to be expensive because it provides real time stats, but it lowers the CPU, and I don't know about the audio card or something like that, the GPU. Notice how my power usage is very high. And power usage is very high because I'm using the Ableton with the Malwarebytes service executable. We got neural audio. I got a lot of shit. I had the JD80. I love the JD80. I always wanted that synthesizer. It cost like $1,000. I wish I could buy it. I mean, I could afford it though if I wanted to. I could buy it if I wanted to, but I'd rather use it for my projects if I wanted to on Ableton. Good shit though. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about Reactor. Wait a minute, that's the VST2. We don't want that. I want you to guys see now. Here we have Razor, and I'm gonna be showing you the comb filter. Wait a minute, I can't show you that. Wait, I gotta show you the comb filter. Where's the search bar? Okay. See, this is .com44. I'm gonna show you the. This is a modulator synth. So according to the CPU, it's 7.5%. That's because it's not using any oscillators at all. Now, where are you? From church. Glide bell. Oh wait, this is it. Now this is the DX7 bells from Yamaha. Notice it's the glide bells, not the actual DX7 bells. What I like about this type of modulator synth is it's the bell sound, but it has an ensemble type. This is the chorus type right here. Reactor 4, you can add in a Yamaha chorus or harmonizer chorus, and I rather use Reactor 4 chorus because I like that. Now I have to increase the voices on right here. My CPU is actually excellent today. I'm not having issues with anything. So I'm gonna increase it to 16. That's the full patch. There's the theater organ. This has to use the harmonizer. So Tom Sawyer 1 is the Prophet 5 sound design. This one is the Sign Kicker sound design for the filter. The kick sign saw whatever. And this is the bubble saw. There's the code sign sound. Now notice how much CPU this is using. It's really light. And Serum also has that too, the tuned noise. I could use this if I wanted to. Still streaming? Yeah, it's still streaming. I'm gonna show you my patches from recent studios. Where's my... This is my Parsec patch from the Parsec Special Synthesizer. This one's the Deadmau5 5 Saw patch. It's specialized so you hear that water sound. And we have Driplets pad. I love Parsec. I've heard a lot about Parsec, and that it's a pet spectral synthesizer, but I didn't know it can create pads that are just enormous. Like, my favorite one is the Driplets pad, but here's the solar pad right here. It's very loud, as you hear it. This is the water pad. I added like a ridiculous amount of ensembles here. I love this ensemble so much. I don't know how they do this, but it's just amazing. It's just amazed me how sound design can go up to the next level like that. So these are my 4 patches right here from Parsec Spectral Synthesizer, and that's basically it. Yeah. Now, I want to talk about synthesis. If they made a modulator acid, well, actually, it will be called modulator acid because it's coming out of a modulator, and the acid, it's coming out of the synthesizer because the modulator builds and stuff like that. We have this other one called vacuum tube distortion. And I wish they made it as a VST plugin, a high quality one, like a real-time vacuum tube distortion unit, without the zero square quality. And like, there's asymmetrical, something like that, asymmetrical or something. And like, I'll show you what I mean here. I'm gonna add in a sine wave. Notice we have a tube, right? Hear this distortion unit carefully. Very bright. With the asymmetrical, it's not bright. It's clean, and it doesn't have the brightness as a tube. I wish they do that on a vacuum tube distortion unit. Well, for a VST plugin, a vacuum tube distortion, which that would be excellent to have. Notice with the tube and without it. I like tubes. I like tube amplifiers. They're really loud. That's my phone ringing. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Wow. Well, let's just play with synthesizers just for fun, I guess. I want to show you one of my favorite sound designs from Nexus. Now, I purchased this. I purchased Nexus 3, and they tell me to upgrade to Nexus 4, which I couldn't. And I don't want to waste my money over it, so I just pirated Nexus 4. Well, torrented Nexus 4, as you can see right here. I don't really own Nexus, but but I love Nexus. I love Nexus synthesizer because of how many you can create leads, gnarly distortion units, sub, robot, bells. What's this? Notice how much bells does Nexus 4 have. It's very impressive. I also purchased Lethal Audio, which is one of my top favorite synths. And so is Nexus. I love Nexus so much. Like I said, I purchased Nexus 3. I promise you that. Now, the person who owns REFX, he probably has that on, he probably has my serial, so he'll know. Ooh, that is sick. That's a sick bell. I love that bell. I love bells, man. They have nice tunes, by the way. I could use this for orchestra, like I did on my Ableton Live products. Now, ask yourself this: you may be wondering where I get all these songs. These are outdated. ROM presets that I collected from the Nexus 3 patch. Nexus 3 bundle. Now, watch how many megabytes this is. See how it's still counting? That's how much gigabytes I've been using, that I have on my Nexus. 177 gigabytes. I can never run out of music or never run out of sound design if I wanted to. It also has this pipe organ, which I like too. Let me show you. And it has this country potato guitar. want to show you one of my favorite bell sounds that I love from the lead category. Alphine bells. Now this is what I use for heavy metal that I made the track just now for like Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy. I like My Little Pony, Friendship's Magic, but they don't call me the Brony for nothing. I don't we agree to never speak of this again. That's Rarity. I know like a lot of actors acting and shit. Like I copy their lines, which I could remember by myself. So let's go over the Alphine bells. That's a big one. And that's it. That I'm not gonna show you all the rest of my patches on Nexus because it's too much to go through. Let's see. When it comes to mixing, I use this limiter, George Young limiter that deadmau5 uses on his tracks. I think he uses it. I don't know. I don't use the W1 limiter on the main channel, but I use the loud max on the main channel to make my mix louder. And I'm going to show you what it is. It's called Thomas Mode that he made this right here. Thomas Mutt. And he made loud max. And I always put it on the main channel. But you know what I like mostly is the fat filter limiter. Like, I don't know what this does. Like, it takes your tracks, like when you're layering your tracks to every other mixer. Like, you can add aggressive, modern. I put down aggressive, but when you add your tracks to here, like it takes. How do I explain this? Like when you're playing a piano, or organ, or synthesizer, or anything like that, and you play the instruments, the only thing you hear is the kick, snare, crash, hi-hat, etc. That's about it. You don't hear the other instruments back then. This is why I like Fat Filter Pro Limiter too, which I have. I have Fat Filter Pro G, Pro R, Timeless 1, Simpleton, Timeless 3. Wait, the Simpleton and also frequency, yeah. I have no idea what that is. I mean, it's the same thing. Oh yeah, it is the same thing. I have Saturn 2, Timeless 3, Twin 3, Volcano 3, Compressor 2, multi-pan equalizer. So I pay up with a lot of these stuff, and they're cheap. I'm gonna show you the ones I purchased though, because some of these are torrented, some of these are not. I I have Vengeance Producer Suite, and this is what I've purchased. I purchased the Adventure sound. And it says my name on here. Right there, Christian Coros. That's actually me. I'm BluePawn73. I added the patches, the leads, pads, phaser keys, lo-fi pluck, and that's about it. And this will use CPU on the outside. So look at my CPU right here, and look at this right here on the task manager. This uses CPU like crazy. Like, I don't know what caused this to use CPU on here, but look how it rises and doesn't rise. That's because this is using resources. And if I exit this, I'm not gonna get a CPU hog anymore. And when I open it, now notice how it dropped to 1. Now when I open it, I get 3. But really, it depends on the memory usage, though. This is Matterquire pad that I used, and I used a sine wave, which is the sub and bass, and I used the Let's Get Down patch from Waves Coder, I think, and used Festival and Vox, and it creates that sound. Now this is one of my leads I've created, the choir lead, which is part of my track Hellscape. This is the choir lead. I tried creating a Reese lead on Adventure, but it's too impossible to do this. Like, what I do is I use the morphing bass, which is more like a flanger, but I used the AA rotary simulation, and it creates like this kind of enormous flanger effect onto your mix. Notice how many equalizers I'm using. I'm using 2. One for the bass to come down, and I use the high end to add more brightness. And I have a flanger, and I have an equalizer that takes away all the mid-end. And you get this. And I added a clipper as my master effect. Now my Master Effect has an equalizer, so, and it has a reverb and delay for the send back. I don't know what that is, so. And this is my mixer. This has everything what you want to create on dance music, and even drum and bass. Now, they have this expansion pack that I really want. It's called Drum and Bass. And when I first heard it, it sounded really good. I wish they dropped the expansion pack from the website that I go to every day. I love their packs. Like they work so hard to just put it out there for everybody to try out, you know? So this is my sound design. This one's called Destructo Acid. Now I use the shaper and the distortion unit. This one's called Logic, which is the algorithm. This is the multi-band distortion. I put down the mid end here, and I decrease the gain so I don't have to I decrease the gain so that way I don't have to hear the peaks of the volume. Why does it... This one's called Code Square. Now this is used by the Spectral Expander. I forgot how I used it. Yes, Spectral. It's Spectral. These are default waveforms of the Spectralizer Expander that Adventure 2 was making, Invention Sound, and I love it. And then we got Heaven Pad. And that's about it. Now we're gonna go over the factory presets that what I have. This is for summer. I actually created a track like this by using this preset right here, and it's perfect, and it sounded so great. It's summer stuff, whatever. I want something Halloweenish. did this before and I completely forgot how I did it. The reverb is too. There's too much decay. That's the country potato sound. Oh, that's sick. Imagine using this on stage. That would be really cool. Now, that's the program I purchased, which is an adventure. What else did I purchase? I purchased their effects, which I have. And people be like, oh, you don't need these effects. This is just too much. This is just too much synthesis for you. You shouldn't even have these on your computer. Well, I do this for testing purposes. Like Polychrome DSP, I tested this out, and everything about it is just distortion. That's it. It's just an amplifier with more distorted tubes, but it's basically a VST plugin, whatever. Now I have Heaviosity, Fury, and Punish, and look at how many modules that I can choose from Fury. This one's called 70s distortion on the default patch. You can increase the size. Use CPU graphics. Requires restart. Guitar pedal. Dials. High cut. I could choose these different distortion mode. Fuzz, tube, tube A, tube B, tube C. And they all sound good. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you Lethal Audio. This is the program I also purchased. So I purchased Nexus, I purchased Lethal Audio, I purchased Vengeance Producer Suite, and here's Lethal Audio. Now I did purchase this for real though, but I had to get it. I had to get the torrent version because I was missing the Lethal Audio that I purchased, and basically this Lethal Audio that I've got cost me like $300, so it's pretty expensive. But I like the way it has the presets, and for some reason, when I open a category, this don't show because I'm using X1, hip hop, EDM, trance, and here's the thing: if I go to core library, nothing happens. But if I go to K-pop, you get the preset there. I don't know for what reason it does this, but I wish they'd come up with a bug fix for Lethal Audio. But anyway, Lethal Audio is a very excellent VST plugin, and it's a VST2 plugin. And we have Bass Stabs, Aero Pop, Bell's Tropical. I like going on to the bell part. This is layered, just so you know. And we got leads. And there's a stereo expander and a drive to drive the sound, and shine to brighten the sound, more like an EQ or some sort of type of shit. And then we have chord, well, a note. It was on note. Was it on note? Yeah, it was on Node. Okay. We got strings. Let's go to the atmospheres. I love atmospheres a lot. That's pad. That's a church organ pad. That's a trance pad. Now, this is the atmosphere that I'm talking about. There's the sense. What else do we have? We have a lot of samples here. Like, this is just crazy. These are my lethal sounds now. Delete, restore presets. Where did I put my libraries at? System. Oh, there it is. This is my core library that I have for lethal. This is the core library, so just so you know, it's right there. And these are all my sound libraries. Now I could choose to deactivate product or activate product. That's up to me. Now note that this is from 2015. So it's been here for quite a while, and I purchased this I think in 2020 or 2015, doesn't matter. Oh, whatever. We got effects, ORs, Transgate, Transpop. Yeah, so that's basically it. Those are my synthesizers. I mean, those are my sounds. I don't want to go into depth to it, so. Now, I'm going to show you what I purchased. I purchased Electra X4, I purchased Icarus, Nemesis, Ray Blaster, Ultra Space. I didn't purchase this, I didn't purchase that, and I didn't purchase that. Now, from what I heard, these can actually shut your computer down. Shut down your computer. Some of these effects right here. That's because you didn't buy the product. Now, Tone 2 is known for creating malicious VST plugins when you crack them. But what I basically do is I just use Electra. I purchased some of these plugins. Like, I didn't purchase Acoustic and Gravity, but I could still use it if I wanted to. That is. And here's my favorite one, Icarus X64. This is one of my favorite synthesizers. It has atmosphere, bass, bells. It doesn't have that bass where you have like a growlish sound stuff. If you go to Droid, where's Droid at? Oh, it doesn't have Droid here? Oh yeah, Robot, right here. So basically these are the growl sounds, but they're actually robot droids or something. And we have an organ. This is the Holy Church. I like this organ a lot. This one's actually a good emulation of the wavetable organ. I like the sample one though, from Contact. It actually sounds like an actual organ. Pretty dope though. This is Undertow Audio Unfair Child that I got, and it sounds really nice. Now, Fairchild is an old compressor, and according to the price, it's very expensive. Now, you can have it as a VST plugin, but notice the CPU usage here. And you have time constant, variable 1, 2, 3, 4, threshold, input gain. We have the VU meter. We have the... I have no idea what GR means. And then I can't click this for some reason. And we have... Now this don't come... I think this don't come with the Fairchild. I think this is just some extra effects. There's the DC threshold, there's the attack release on channel B, channel A, sidechain insert if you want to insert sidechain. Wait, what? Enable MPE mode. Sound spot. Sony Bowl. Smart EQ. I like everything for Sony Bowl, just so you know. That's like the most smartest EQ that they can ever make. They made an AI over a smart EQ to mix your sounds, and it actually sounds nice. It doesn't sound too harsh or too bassy, too high-end, or too whatever. Some sort of shit like that. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean by the distortion unit. I have the Redopter 2. This is a vintage tube distortion. And if I crank this up to 100 dB, holy shit, you can either squash the dynamics or put it on neutral. And with 100 dB, you get this amazing sound of a plugin, and it just distorts it like shit. If you want to make acid, this is your best friend right here. Preamp 48, threshold, shape. This is the best plugin for making dirty acid bass. Devastator. I had the old Devastator when I was using my old PC, and it's pretty good. This is Ample Sound, my electric guitar, Metal Eclipse, and Metal Hellraiser. Alright, I'm done. Now, I want you to listen to my music right here. I use the Alphine bells from Nexus, which I like, because it sounds more synthetic, more bellish, and more ghostly or something shit. also make techno metal, which sucks. But I still make it though. Pretty sick. And almost winter. Now, this is one I recently made from YouTube, guys. And that's pretty much it. I've created all these music, and I actually like the way I make my music. And I have GIMP and Photoshop, so I use the latest version of GIMP. So I think about updating OpenShot. I don't know. .303 is dead. Now this is the guitar I was talking about that I made into the Chug guitar. It's very synthetic, but it doesn't sound anything like an actual guitar. Very synthetic though. Alright, that's enough of the stream. Time to go. Bye, everyone.